Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavadu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Yoga Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Yerime Guruvihi Purvam Padavakya Pramanatah Vyakhyatah Sarva Vedantah Tanityam Pranatosmiham. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayinam Sutra Bhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Samasta Brahma Vidya Yoga Vidya Acharyebhyo Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo Devatabhyo Namaha तेषां कृपानुग्रहेण वेदांत योग दर्शनोक्त साधन द्वारा आत्मानुभूति द्वारा कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं च क्षेमस्थैर्यादि प्राप्त्यर्थं च श्री पतंजलि महर्षि प्रणीत योग दर्शन शास्त्रस्य व्यास भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ योग दर्शन आचार्याणां स्मरणं प्रणामः। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय कपिलमहर्षये नमः। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय कपिलमहर्षये नमः। 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 पतंजलि महर्षये नमः। पतंजलि महर्षये नमः। पतंजलि महर्षेणो पतंजलि महर्षेणो पतंजलि महर्षेणो पतंजलि महर्षेणो व्यास महर्षेणो व्यास महर्षेणो व्यास महर्षेणो व्यास महर्षेणो व्यास महर्षेणो व्यास महर्षे नमः। ओम अथ श्री पतंजलि महर्षि प्रणीत योग दर्शन शास्त्र द्वितीयः पादः साधना पादः सूत्राणि। ओम तपस्वाध्याय ईश्वर प्रणिधानानि क्रिया योगः समाधि भावनार्थः क्लेशतनुकरणार्थश्च अविद्या अस्मिता राग द्वेष अभिनिवेशाः पंचक्लेशाः अविद्या क्षेत्रम् उत्तरेषां प्रसुप्त तनु विच्छिन्न उदाहरणाम् अनित्या अशुचि दुःख अनात्मसु नित्य शुचि सुख आत्मख्यातिः अविद्या दृग्दर्शन शक्त्योः एकात्मता इव अस्मिता सुखानुशयी रागः दुःखानुशयी द्वेषः. Up to this we have seen. Now the fifth one, today we will study the fifth of the kleshas. So avidya, first one klesha, anitya shuchi dukkha anatma में nitya shuchi sukha atma का ख्याल रखना, which is wrong. That is avidya. Second, अस्मिता दृग दर्शन शक्ति हो एकात्मता इव. So the उपाधियों का है perception, दिमाग का है knowledge, आत्मा सिर्फ अवेयरनेस है. बट हैविंग आइडेंटिटी विद देम एंड सेइंग एवरी टाइम अहम अस्मि सो एंड सो इज कॉल्ड अस्मिता क्लेश. तो बुद्धि इज नोइंग बट आई एम नोइंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अस्मिता. मन इज फीलिंग बट आई एम फीलिंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड अस्मिता. The body is walking, I am walking is asmita. In that way 24 hours we are actually in asmita. Raga sukha anushayi, sukha anubhuti followed by smruti of that sukha. Therefore to the source of sukha and also to the sukha, the called gardhi grudha, the what is called the trishna and the lobha, that feeling inside continuous is called raga. So to dukkha anubhuti, smruti of the dukkha, and toward the reason of the dukkha, the source, as well as to the dukkha, the pratigha, then the jighamsa, then the manyuhu, then the krodhaha. These feelings inside is called the dvesha, named klesha, in the form of samskara. It is there going on influencing our vrutthis, whether they are for vyavahara or they are for adhyatmic sadhana. They have to be क्षीण करके उनको निकाल देना है, तनुकरणम करके उनको निकाल देना है. 4 hours seen. Now today we'll study thoroughly the pancha fifth of the kleshas. What is it? Called as Abhinivesha. What is Abhinivesha? Let us study. First the sutra three times. Swarasavahi vidushaha api tatharudaha abhiniveshaha. Swarasavahi vidushaha api tatharudaha abhiniveshaha. Swarasavahi vidushaha api tatharudaha abhiniveshaha. First from the sutra, little meaning we call out, explanation through the Bhashya. So, swarasa vahi. Okay, swa means one's own. Rasa means one's own experience, creating impression. Vahi carried on that. Tatha arudaha, always rooted on that only, as if it will be again and again happening and repeating. This is called Abhinivesha. And this happens even to Vidushaha, even for a Vidwa. And especially in one case it is. And what is that one case we are going to study? So what is अभिनिवेश in generally for many चीजें होता है, specifically यहाँ एक चीज की बात हो रही है, what's that we'll see through the भाष्य. So swa, our own, swa rasa, our own experience, and uska vasana, memory and vasana. Vahi, we are vahita, carried by it. Therefore, we don't want to accept anything other than it. We are fully, strongly established in the conviction that it is like that only. That's called a tatha aruda or tatha ruda. मतलब कल जैसा हुआ था ऐसा ही आज ही होगा, परसों भी ऐसा ही होगा. You understood? That called as arudata is called abhinivesha. Why? कल परसों में हुआ जिसका impression very strongly in us. It is there. And this happens to even the vidwan api. विदुषः अपि, विदुष को भी ये अभिनिवेश होता है, very strong one. Now let us see beautifully, it's a big one, Bhashyakara's Bhashya, to understand this fifth of the kleshas. What is it? First, Sarvasya Praninaha. Okay, for all the living beings. Sarvasya Praninaha, for all the living beings. Whether it is a human, whether it is a devatas, whether it is maybe Pashu Pakshi Vanaspati, whether it is even a small little insects also. सर्वस्य प्राणिनः का अर्थ समझो, सारे जीवित प्राणियां. सर्वस्य प्राणिनः, प्राणियां ऐसा वर्ड नहीं होता इन हिंदी से, प्राणी ही, फॉर दैट प्लूरल आल्सो प्राणी. फॉर ऑल द लाइफ लिविंग बीइंग्स वी से. So sarvasya praninaha, for all the living beings, be attentive. Iyam atma ashihi nitya bhavati. This ashihi, this desire, atma ashihi, desire about or for oneself, nitya bhavati, eternally always there. So for every prani, this desire about or for oneself always is there. Ashihi means desire. Nitya bhavati means always is there. Iyam means this one. So iyam आशी नित्या भवति, ये वाले डिजायर हमेशा शाश्वत रहता है हर एक प्राणी का. सो सर्वस्य प्राणिनः इयम आशी ही नित्या भवति. ओके, इयम आत्मा आशी ही, आत्मा आशी ही, द डिजायर रिलेटेड टू द सेल्फ, रिगार्डिंग वन सेल्फ. आत्मा वर्ड डोंट मिस. आत्मा आशी ही, अपने बारे में ये आशा, ये डिजायर परमानेंटली रहता है हर एक प्राणी के लिए. व्हाट इट इज, व्हेन आई रिपीटेड इट 3-4 times, यू माइट हैव कॉट इट ऑलरेडी. दोस आर वेरी सटल. हर एक प्राणी का अपने बारे में ये आशा शाश्वत रहता है. सर्वस्य प्राणिनः इयम आत्मा आशी ही नित्या भवति. ओके, व्हाट इज दैट? दिस इज व्हाट, कि मा न भुवं भूयासम इति. Ma na bhuvam bhuyasam. Many texts, Prakarana Granthas talk about this. The Panchadashi main, our Viveka Chudamani, so many places. So ma na bhuvam is may never I cease to exist to. Bhuyasam, I must always exist. Is it not? हम सब प्राणियों में यही है कि नहीं? मैं डिसअपियर नहीं होना है, मुझे हमेशा शाश्वत रूप से रहना है. May I not cease to exist, but I must exist all the time. It is the icha, ashiya for every prani. आत्मा मीन्स अपने बारे में। किसी को भी चले जाना, मैं नहीं रहना, ऐसा होता ही नहीं। Even though people know that they die, yet they want to continue, at least for the my name should continue. Therefore, they give all the charities and their name is kept somewhere, and somebody will remember me when they read my name. We have given some donation, and with the donation, each kursi is made in a park. So somebody sits and they reads my name. Ha, I am remembered. So at least नाम के वास्ते मैं eternal रहूं, ऐसा हर एक को आशा रहता है. Ma nabhuvam and bhuyasam. Never wanting to die or disappear and ever wanting to live eternally. Is it not? Sarvesham sarvasya praninaha yam atma ashi bhavati ma nabhuvam. Ma means never. Nabhuvam means should be absent. Then bhuyasam, I must be existing eternally. Never I become non-existent, ever I must exist. Never I cease to exist, ever I should be there. Point 1. Clear? Sarvesham sarvasya praninaha yam atmashi bhavati ma na bhuyasam ma na bhuvam bhuyasam iti. Okay, ma na bhuvam may I not cease to exist. Bhuyasam, I must exist. Second, now very interesting analysis starting here to explain the asmita wala, not asmita, abhinivesh wala panchama klesh. Ki nacha, listen carefully, nacha ananubhuta never experienced marana dharmakasya, the one who has not experienced death, esha bhavati atma ashihi. है ना, ये वाला डिजायर नहीं होगा अगर वो वाला अनुभव नहीं हुआ तो, है ना, like something we experienced and it was not tasty, then we remember that experience and we say we don't want it. So to something we experienced it, we tasted it, it was good, then only we wanted it. So here he is talking about the mana bhuva means I should not die. Have we died in this life? Simple question. We are making the topic simpler. Have we died in this life of ours? We have not died. मैं तो नहीं मरा हूं ना, मरे राम नहीं मरे. Therefore, did we have the experience of death? अरे, good question, no? When I have not died, how can I have the experience of death? No. Then if they don't have the experience of death in this life, why I am afraid of death then? That I say I don't want to die, I want to live eternally. You understood? Nobody, even a person of 9900 years, he also wants to be alive. With all diseases and pains, there is some people out of a very strong willpower who commit karte hain suicide. That is very exceptions. We can't talk exceptions when we study Shastras. It is generally for everyone it is spoken. Is it not? Person is so much lost in money, everything, yet somehow he want to live and survive. Okay, doctor ने कहा अरे कैंसर है तुम्हारे, प्लीज डू डॉक्टर साहब समथिंग, कीमो लाखों लाखों रुपया खर्चा करते हैं. And the fellow who's paying, he never says ये पैसे क्यों वेस्ट करो, छोड़ो मैं मरता हूँ. He only says try करो only. So the 2 points is what? We don't have the experience of death in this life. Yet we don't want the death. If we have not got the experience of death, why do we fear about it and say, I don't want to die? Think about this. That is a point here asked. Nacha ananubhuta marana dharma kasya, the human being who has not experienced the death in this life, esha bhavati atma ashihi, ये desire नहीं होगा उनको, मुझे नहीं मरना, मुझे जीना. मुझे नहीं मरना है, मुझे जीना है, को आशा सबको है. Why don't you want to you die? Because that experience was very, very bitter, bad, unwanted. Therefore, I don't want it. But you have never died in this life. How did you get that experience? Is it not? Think about it. Then he explains here, Etayacha, by this logic, what is concluded is, Etayacha, ki purva janma anubhava pratiyate. Very clearly, it is told, it is understood, we can come to this consequence or conclusion that in the earlier life, he had the experience of death. Okay, anpratiyate, then that anubhuti was so painful that that pain he doesn't want again, therefore he doesn't want to die. देखो, what we talk from Vedanta standpoint, that the Brahman eternal, there is no birth and death to it. Jiva goes from one body to the other, therefore there is no birth and death to it. Pancha Mahabhuta se bana sharira, it goes back to them, therefore you can't call it as birth and death. Therefore, birth is a myth, death is a myth. That is a higher, deeper logic. That's ultimate. One who can lift his intellect to that level, it is great. But we are all ordinary folks. We have to talk at our level. So at our level, in this life we have no death, yet we have terrible fear for the death, that we don't want to die, we want to live eternally. Why is it so? Because Purva Janma Smriti Anubhuyate. Yatayacha Purva Janma Anubhavaha Pratiyate. It indicates that if not in this life, in the earlier life, we died. Not once, many times we died. And every time the death must be very painful. Then only we don't want, ना? जो चीज मजा आता है उसको हम चाहते हैं, छोड़ते थोड़ी है. जिसको हम नहीं चाह रहे हैं का अर्थ क्या हुआ? इट वॉज वेरी मिजरेबल एंड पेनफुल. And again, it is spiritual and logical, depending on how much identity we have with the body, how much attachment we have with the things and beings and bhoga will be the pain to us at the time of death. If we have freed ourselves from that, then no pain at all. It is just transferring from one body to the other. But do you think we are like that? We have identified this body with the people, with the object, things, and we have planned in our mind millions of things to enjoy. है कि नहीं? जितने बूढ़े होते हैं उतने बढ़ते रहते कामनाएं. I'll buy my own house and I'll give it on rent, and my children, grandchildren, myself with my alumni club, I'll enjoy this, that. अब इतने विचार लगाते हैं लोग. And now at the time of death, all these you have to live and go, and that is so painful. And I told you one day, they describe that the pain at the time of death is equivalent to 1,000 scorpions biting at one time, depending on so many of the attachments. That is why even now when we have the thought of death, इतना डर लगता है मुझे, नहीं मरना कहते, क्योंकि इट्स सो दुखी, तो सब छोड़कर जाना है. दैट्स व्हाई 12 दिन वो जीव लटकता रहता है. But the body is burnt already, he cannot come. He tries to talk to them, nobody talks to him. They don't know he is there. Then बेचारा अब कोई चांस नहीं है, then he accepts and he goes. Then he will be लटकते रहेगा जब तक नया बॉडी मिलेगा. Excited he is to get the new body, but very painful to live. Another example, you got a big python or a snake. From a door का की होल होता है, उस की होल से उसको पाइथन को या स्नेक को खींचो, कैसा रहेगा उसका हालत? Same way, a soul or jiva, when he leaves the body, that pain is so much, called as death. Therefore, he is always mana bhuvam vyasa. Then in a common language, how can I live all these comfort जो मैंने अपने मेहनत से कमाया, I want to enjoy. अब जितने भी जीव हो ना, और भी चाहिए कहते ही रहते हैं. मौका दिया जाए अगर ब्रह्मदेव के द्वारा, यमराज के द्वारा, we will never leave. Nobody wants to leave this world. Infinite extension अगर दिया मानो, everybody will apply for it. Okay, so this is what the fear of death. Therefore, doing everything to avoid death, that is called as the klesha number 5, abhinivesha, which has come to us not in this life but earlier life's experience of the death. In this life तो मरे नहीं, अब जिंदा है, अब अनुभव तो है ही नहीं, तो डर कहाँ से आ रहा? Because of earlier life we had died. वेदांत में क्या कहते हैं? Same thing. We are calling it as death for the topic's sake. Otherwise, only change from one body to the other. The other logics, there are lot of punya you do, you get a better body only. ये सब आशाएं हैं आगे के लिए, बट फिलहाल के जो आशाएं हैं वो जो छोड़ना पड़ रहा है उसका दुख तो रहेगा ही. That is why even Vidwan also goes through that pain. He will be telling it in the next line. Not before that, this much we have seen. Sarvasya praninaha yam atma ashihi nitya bhavati. For all the pranis, this desire regarding oneself is always there. What is that? Ma nabhuvam bhuyasam iti. I should not cease to exist, but I must exist too. Now the discussion. Nacha ananubhuta marana dharma kasya esha bhavati atma ashihi. The one who has not experienced death, he will not have fear of death. He will not have the desire to live long avoiding death. Therefore, etayacha, because of this discussion or logic or thinking, pura janma anubhava pratiyate. That the earlier life experience is there of death, which was so miserable that for he doesn't want to. This is what is abhinivesha. That I want to live eternally. As a self, you are eternal. But as a jiva and deha, we are not. But we want to be so. For that, every Tom Dick thing we do, yet we can't succeed. Now he says, such a ayam abhiniveshaha kleshaha. This is called as abhinivesha klesha. What is abhinivesha? Therefore, fear of living, fear of losing, fear of dying. Leaving this body, losing the body, dying to this life is abhiniveshaha klesha. Such a ayam abhiniveshaha kleshaha swarasavahi. What is the swarasa therefore? Swa, one's own. Rasa means earlier life experienced the memory of the death. Vahi means carried from there. Sometime, in any hotel you ate. So it was so stomach paining because the wrong oils used. So next time when you go to that hotel or somebody proposes, you say, you remember that Swa Rasa Vahi. But वो इसी life का था. You had. Earlier life you had in a hotel that you don't remember now. But death is such a thing which is being gone through by us for many, many lives. That is impression very, very strong. So too, the pain is so much there. Oh, accumulated pain and all says, मुझे कम से कम इस जिंदगी में नहीं मरना, लगातार रहना है. सह अभिनिवेशः स्वरसवाही. स्वरसवाही स्वरस को वहन करते हुए आता है. स्वमनसोन रस एक्सपीरियंस का इंप्रेशन वाही इज डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट. तो सच अयम अभिनिवेशः क्लेशः स्वरसवाही कृमेः अपि. Even for a small insect also, jatamatrasya. Anything which is born into a body, even a small krumi, is a lizard or cockroach or any of the insect, even मक्खी को आप पकड़ने का कोशिश करो, मारने का कोशिश करो, वो नहीं जाएगा आपके हाथ में. उसको भी मरण का त्रास भय होता है. अभिनिवेश. Nobody, no animal. Even it's the worst of the case. Then the dog in a case of with all skin diseases मारो पूरा कुत्ता. अब उसको भी आप मारने का कोशिश करो. You will not say कि मेरे को मारो. No, it wants to be alive. It wants to continue in the body. So basically, body identification is Abhinivesha, expressed as don't want to die and leave this body. Continue, I want to be in this. Deha Tadatma is Abhinivesha. Therefore, Marana Trasa doesn't want to die. For that, doing everything. That's called Abhinivesha. Yet not successful. So, Sahacha Ayam Abhinivesha Kleshaha Swarasavahi Krumehe Api Jata Matrasya. Even for a Krumi also. Now, देखो, interesting point. प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान आगम ही असंभावितः. प्रत्यक्ष तो अनुभव ही नहीं है, अनुमान से भी नहीं पता चलता, आगम में भी कहीं नहीं कहा कि हम मरते हैं, फिर भी मरण त्रासः, that mरण त्रासः, the fear of the death, and उच्छेद दृष्टि उच्छेद दृष्टि means what? कि I will be cut asunder or I will be removed, I will be discontinued. ऐसे भाव रूपी उच्छेद आत्मक मीन्स मेरा उच्छेद हो जाएगा. छेदन मीन्स कटिंग असंडर. So my continuity will be cutting asunder. In that form is the maranatrasa, even though प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान आगम ही असंभावितः है ना. प्रत्यक्ष से you have never experienced death. Anumana, I proved if you were died earlier, we should not be alive now. अब है का अर्थ मरण नहीं हुआ ना. Agama tells you are Brahman, which is Ajanma and Amarana. So by Shastra, by Agama, by Pratyaksha, there is no death. But still, Uchedatmaka. This is the underlining point. Ucheda means in this body, with these relations, in these experiences and bhoga, when I'm beautifully moving, ये कट जाएगा, इसका उच्छेदन हो जाएगा, इसका डिस्कंटिन्यू होगा, वो है कारण जो मृत्यु का भय ले आता है. Therefore, we are not afraid of the death. Our problem is this beautiful continuity of this life, of experiences. कि मैं वहाँ का प्रेसिडेंट हूँ, यहाँ का रेसिडेंट हूँ, उधर का सेक्रेटरी हूँ, है ना, इधर का मैं ये हूँ वो हूँ, इतने हूँ वाले अस्मिता है ना हमारे पास, वो अस्मिता टूट जाएगा. दैट इज वाई देर इज दुख. थ्रू दैट मरना सब कट जाएगा, इसलिए हमको मरना नहीं चाहिए, है ना. हस्बैंड ऑफ दिस वाइफ और वाइफ ऑफ दैट वंडरफुल हस्बैंड, सो लविंग इज, चिल्ड्रन सो वंडरफुल, इतने जगह हम फंसे हैं. एनीथिंग, कुत्ते को देखकर फंस सकते हैं, या बच्चों को, या घर को देखकर, मालियों को देखकर, काम करने वाले, एनीबडी कैन बी अटैच्ड टू एनीवेयर एंड वांट टू कंटिन्यू दैट एक्सपीरियंस. लाइक यू एंड आई हैव द फियर, ये क्लासेस छूट जाएंगे, उच्छेदात्मक. सो उच्छेदात्मक मरणत्रासः यद्यपि प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान आगम ही इट इज नॉट एट ऑल एग्जिस्टिंग. प्रत्यक्ष से, अनुमान से, आगम से मरण का प्रूफ नहीं होता. देयर इज नो डेथ पॉसिबल. बट येट द उच्छेदात्मकता, द डिस्कंटिन्यूटी इज द वन बिकॉज ऑफ विच द death gives the fear. And always remember, death will not give misery as the fear of death gives misery. मरने से होता नहीं, मरने एक मिनट में खत्म हो गए, इसमें से निकल गए. बट द फियर ऑफ, and the fear is because of उच्छेदात्मकता. सो कि उच्छेद दृष्टियात्मक, मेरा उच्छेद हो जाएगा, इस दृष्टि के कारण ये मरण का त्रास होता है. पूर्व जन्म अनुभूतम मरण दुखम अनुवापयति. तो द मरण दुख एक्सपीरियंस इन अर्लियर लाइफ is the one cause of this life's dukkha or bhaya for the mrityu, and that is reasoned by our उच्छेद दृष्टियात्मकता. ये उच्छेदता हो जाएगा, हमारे कंटिन्यूटी डिसकंटिन्यू हो जाएगा. यथा चयम अत्यंत मूढ़ेषु दृश्यते. This one is seen in the extreme foolish fellows, that means who are identified with the sthula body only. As much it is seen in the Muda, Klesha, Tatha, Vidushaha api, Vijnata Purvaparantasya Rudaha. Even for a wise person who has got all the Shastra Jnana, when it comes to the fifth Klesha, Abhinivesha, of not wanting to die, it is natural for him also. Therefore, even saints, sages, they go to doctor, they take medicine, they may justify it. नहीं मैं इसी शरीर में रहूंगा, so that I can do the seva to the Lord and all that. Why are you worried? अगले जन्म में मिलेगा आपको और एक शरीर, छोड़ दो इसको. नहीं नहीं नहीं. विदुषः अपि इक्वल इज दिस अभिनिवेश रूपी पांचवा क्लेश. तो एक तो कृमि कीटकों का बताया, एक ऑर्डिनरी ह्यूमन बीइंग का बताया, एक ऋषि मुनि सेंट्स का भी. एवरीवन हैव गॉट this abhinivesha, the fear of death. Now remember, fear of death is what? One is उच्छेद दृष्टि से fear होता है. सेकंड, पिछले जन्म में उच्छेद हुआ, उसका अनुभव था, वो बहुत बुरा था, है ना. लिविंग ऑन एंड गोइंग, and those 12 days having the pain of necessarily to give them up, and they also slowly forgetting us, है ना. 12 दिन के बाद अपने काम में सब लगे जाते हैं. Then the desire to continue to them with them is discontinued, and that gives so much of misery that he doesn't want in this life. That is called as dukkha. That's called panchava klesha abhinivesh. वो तो कृमि कीटकों के लिए भी होता है, अविद्वान मूढ़ व्यक्ति के लिए होता है, इवन टू विदुषः अपि. सो स्वरसवाहि तथारूढ़ः अभिनिवेशः विदुषः अपि. These are the fifth klesha. Okay. Kasmad samanahi. Therefore, because of this reason, samanahi tayoho kushala akushalayoho marana dukkhanubhavad iyam vasana iti. Where somebody is intelligent or ignorant or happy person or miserable, for every one of them there is equal this abhinivesha rupi klesha. है कि नहीं? ये वेरी पुलिस ऑफिसर को भी मरने का मन नहीं होता. सो टू गुंडा चोर जो है जिसको इसने पकड़ा, उसको भी मरना नहीं होता. टेररिस्ट आल्सो डजंट वांट टू बी किल्ड. ए सोल्जर आल्सो डजंट वांट टू डाई. So therefore the abhinivesha klesha, that fear of death, though it is not experienced but carried from earlier life, which is caused because of the thought of ucheda of the continuity, is with every one of us. सो देह तादात्म्य, यहाँ मिलने वाले सुखों को नहीं छोड़ने वाला भावना, इससे मुझे मरना नहीं. These three are called the Abhinivesha named klesha. So all the five we have seen. Tomorrow we will see slowly how they have to be eliminated. Sadhanas are told. Already told. Tapasvadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhan Kriya Yoga is only for klesha tanukarana. वो करते जाओ तो कम होते रहते. Let us study tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, friends. Okay, 5 kleshas